What's the lamest old person activity you're starting to really enjoy as you get older? Sitting and doing nothing. I can grab a beer, sit on my back porch and just chill, and I'll be fine for like an hour. I have started doing that on weekends. I sit on the balcony and watch the cracktivities of my sketchy neighborhood. I do not even go outside. I have a disguised webcam pointed towards a sketchy street corner and watch on my laptop when I hear them roll up. Stop watching me buy drugs, Frank. Buying new and exciting cardigans. I hang a cardigan on the bedroom doorknob so I can put it on first thing in the morning. Next step will be to keep some hard candy in the pocket. Oh my god. I'm 36 and there is a cardigan on my bedroom door handle right now. No hard candy yet though. Gardening. I got my first garden at 25 and swore I would never live without one again. Plants make me happy. Fresh herbs and veggies and strawberries even more so. Favorite thing to grow. Chilies is a crop. Working on things not accessible here usually as well. Trying tomatillos this year. My vegetable patch had tons of herbs. I pick and freeze them so I have things like cilantro all year. Strawberries and wild strawberries everywhere. Most of my bushes and trees are edible like apples, nuts, various types of berries. And I love growing Hokkaido pumpkins. They act like climbing vines and will grow into my head and have these beautiful orange pumpkins lighting it up all summer and fall. Napping. Nap roulette for me. It is like Russian roulette, except you might nap for 20 minutes or 4 hours. Shopping for high quality household items. Never thought a good sponge would make a difference. I have been using the same silicone sponge for well over 2 years now. It is insane. Sure, it takes a little extra work to fully scour a plate, but it also does not smell disgusting after 5 days. Also, tip to those of you that throw out sponges regularly because of their smell, squeeze the water out of them best you can after use and microwave them for 25 seconds. Extends their lifetime by quite a bit, but even still a silicone sponge is vastly superior. I just highly doubt people on the internet who tells me to microwave something. Haha, I get that. It is a dish sponge, though, not your new fancy smartphone. Microwaving it for 20 seconds or so kills a lot of the bacteria, which prevents the sponge from becoming unusably gross smelling. You can extend the life of a single, typical sponge from a week or so to however long it takes you to wear out the material. Crochet. It's a great stress reliever. Though I'm an actual old person, so I'm probably not the best one to ask about this. I have been crocheting since I was about 23. Found it really mindful activity really as I cannot count and think of the world at the same time. Have not actually touched it in a long while though as I prefer sewing, but will do small projects if I get asked. I actually just took it up a few months ago. It is a lot easier than I thought it would be. Deciphering the patterns is the hardest part, in my opinion. I found practice was all it took. Almost like learning to read again. I can read American UK terminologies and charts, but took a while to learn. Being in bed by 7 PM. Talking to younger generations about things from my youth that are of zero relevance or interest to them, i.e. that episode of Seinfeld where making a groaning noise every time I get up out of a chair. Going to bed earlier and I have the next day off instead of staying up late is the best feeling ever. Easier to sleep without the stress of responsibilities. I still cannot do this. And I'm 44. I might spend all day thinking about how great it will be to curl up in bed nice and early with a good book. Then when the time comes I will do anything to avoid going to bed. It's the sick tragedy of our lives. The absolute last thing we want to do before going to bed is go to bed. Then the morning comes, and the absolute last thing we want to do is get out of bed. It is like something the gods of ancient Greece would have given as a punishment. A crossword puzzle. Public service radio and a cup of tea sounds like a terrific way to spend a Sunday morning. Tea and crosswords are how I like to relax these days. That or tea and jigsaw puzzles. Hell yeah. Talk to me about the jigsaw puzzles. Slowly, I found an edge piece. Keeping the house clean, organized. Obsessing over the quality of my lawn. Perfection is so close I can taste it. I stepped back, put my hands on hips, gave my gloved hands a solid singular clap, and sat on the steps looking at my mow lines. Dad status activated. I do that while standing next to the weather kettle that's heating up, with a Fiskars hand trimmer on the table, so I can walk out and snip any errant blades of grass I happen to see. And there's baseball on the AM radio, of course. Sleeping. Absolutely nothing beats sleeping in on a day off. Take a nap in the middle of your workday. It's the best. It is just a very quiet and low calorie lunch break. I turned 40 and now I really enjoy going to my hardware store looking for some tools I would like to buy, even though I do not need them whatsoever. I arrange to go there alone and take my time through all the aisle. In my late 20s early 30s, I would regularly go to conferences and the hotel I was usually put up in was right beside the Lowe's. As soon as the conference was over, I would just go walk through there for an hour or more looking at tools, appliances and or fixtures. Judging people as they walk by while sitting on a bench. I do this, but without the bench and just all the time. I just started knitting. It's a nice passive activity. Also, holy shit is it fun making my kitchen more efficient. I love knitting. I'm already sitting. May as well be doing something. I spent early lockdown doing dishcloths and late lockdown shawls. I'm on socks currently. I like the idea of shawls. Want to pick up sewing next. Thinking about a Cricut to make it even more approachable. Lockdown has been great for hobbies. Also, Cricut the brand has been trying to make their physical cutters into a subscription service. They already require internet to function. And they tried to make a maximum free prints per month without additional fees. But people are currently fighting that. There are other brands that you should definitely go for first that are more consumer friendly. Falling all asleep on my couch while watching Sunday's sporting event. Duck, I fell asleep during the Super Bowl this year. You did not miss much. I'm a Chiefs fan though. I disagree, it was fantastic. Bucks fan. Watching old movies. I've been watching old movies since I was little and most people at school thought it was lame. But I'm finding that I enjoy it more now that I'm an adult. Define old. Films from the 1920s, 1960s. Basically anything from before the rating system existed. Digging deep into sketchy looking sites for mostly forgotten BW era films is so much fun. Word searches. Bird watching, hiking and bad watching are so much fun. You can also befriend crows over time. Okay, right. I want to be friends with crows so bad. You can even teach them to talk. Or is that ravens? Corvids in general are ridiculously intelligent. Magpies can recognize their own reflection, whereas cats and dogs cannot. Cleaning my room. Getting angry at younger people enjoying themselves. Ducking TikTok. I'm very much get off my lawn about TikTok. Listening to NPR. You get to a point where you are tired of hearing the same songs over and over again, and the new stuff just does not speak to where you are at. Yes, music radio has pretty much always sucked. But I rarely even listen to my own music streaming anymore. I'm always listening to podcasts or audiobooks while I work, do house stuff, or drive. I do not even have any presets saved on mine. As soon as I get it, I fire up Audible or Spotify and listen to a podcast or book. Tucking in my shirt, even though I'm at home. Tucking George's shirt in leaving the house might be worse. My husband started getting into model trains. Sent help. My husband restores arcade machines and honestly I have no idea which of the two is worse. Which arcade machine is worse? Probably Centipede. That ball pinches like a mother. Cross stitch. Gardening and cooking. I'm becoming my grandma. I started cross stitching again during COVID. It is lovely. The rocking chair. It is very pleasant and relaxing. As I get older my enjoyment of simply going for a walk also increases. Playing solitaire is also getting more and more entertaining. In my country we have a type of ice cream called Crocken. It is basically vanilla flavored and has small bits of brittle and nuts in it. It is often seen as one of the lamest ice cream flavors, and one that pretty much only old people like. I remember that it was my grandparents and my great-grandparents' favorite when I was a kid, and I did not like it. The older I get the more I like it. and now it is almost my favorite. Now that I think of it, I remember that I do not have any more of it in my freezer. I think it is time to go to the store. That sounds cool. Which country? I'm in the US and the ice cream flavors that are a favorite of older people are raisin, butterscotch vanilla, and pistachio. They are getting harder to find because they are not that popular now. I live in Norway. Pistachio is also very good. That is another favorite of mine. The different flavors are readily available, but the overall variety of flavors are much smaller here than in the US. As a sweet living in the US, I feel like, while the US almost certainly has more flavors in total, the variety of ice creams that are not chocolate, cookie, or candy flavored is actually better in Scandinavia than it is here. The standard American ice cream selection tends to be vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, moe pistachio, and then 800 varieties of chocolate chip brownie caramel cookie dough cookies and cream cookie chocolate caramel. Unless you are at some artisanal specialty shop or gelateria, any non-strawberry fruit or berry is invariably a sorbet, and it is not that I dislike all of these flavors, and maybe I'm just nostalgic for my Swedish childhood summers, but I feel like we used to have a few more non-cake flavored options to choose from, at the very least. Mowing the lawn. Heck, who am I kidding? I have always enjoyed that. At one time, that was my job. I mowed 60 acres a day on a sod farm. I find it relaxing, but 60 acres would do my head in. Listening to the news on the radio or XM while I'm driving. Also oddly religious broadcasts. And I'm not even religious. I like sitting outside on a nice day on my porch. Dinner at 4 PM. Complaining how much current high schoolers are dumbasses. Instead of get off my lawn it's now put on a mask. What the hell? I do all of these things. Same. Eating at restaurants alone. Did this before the pandemic hit. It was the most awesome experience, nice and quiet, no interruptions. Except the waiter tactically asking how the food is right after you shovel a pile of food in your mouth. Sitting in a recliner doing nothing. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.